Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.
Hey everybody, it is Kendéll Lenice and welcome to Shine with Kendéll Lenice. I'm so glad that you're here. It means the world to me for all the people who continue to come back. This is the 9th season of Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Thank you so much for returning each time. Season 9 is all about healing. We want to heal so we can feel what it's like to live in a healthy world, a healthy environment, a healthy us, because that helps us to help ourselves as well as help other people. When we heal, we can see through different lenses. So we're tackling healing on season 9 as we come to a close. I think it's 2 more shows of season 9, and then we're going to go into season 10 in July. So the month of June we take off, and then so May we're going to finish up healing, and then July we're going to come back, and I'm trying to decide what I want to focus on season 10. All right, give me that healthy love, please. That is the title of this episode of Shine with Kendéll Lenice. We will be back with giving me that healthy love, healing from unhealthy relationships. So sometimes you got to know what an unhealthy relationship looks like to appreciate a healthy relationship that you're going to pray for or call into your future, because it's about growth, right? And both men and women need growth. Nobody needs to be in a toxic, unhealthy relationship. We should strive for something healthy, but first we have to start with ourselves to get ourselves as healthy and whole and healed as possible, so we can move forward in every part of our lives healthy and healed. Let's get to it. Season 9 of Shine with Kendéll Lenice is sponsored by, Your Unhealed is Showing, Healing Purposely and Aging Fearlessly. This is the new book by Kendéll Lenice. Make sure you go to Amazon.com and get 2 copies, one for you and one for a friend. Nothing better than giving the gift of healing to yourself and someone you love. While you're over at Amazon, don't forget to leave a review on this book. It's so important. All right, that's it. That's all. Welcome to Shine with Kendéll Lenice. God bless y'all. All right, make sure you get my book on Amazon.com or WIN, WINN publications.com. If you need me to sign it, we can set that up as well. But it's, Your Unhealed is Showing, Healing Purposely and Aging Fearlessly. I share some vulnerable parts of my life in there as well when it comes to healing. Sometimes you think someone's personality is just that, when it's really their unhealed is showing. So to figure out if your unhealed is showing, if you know, because most of the time you know, or if you don't, definitely get that book, and don't forget to leave a review on Amazon. All right, let's start with this week's Life Note. All right, it's time for this week's Life Note. All right, so if you're just tuning in for the first time, again, welcome. A Life Note is a quote or a saying that'll take you through this topic of this particular episode. It'll take you through next week, next month, or the rest of your life. You will hold on to something. So I don't know who this is by, but it was on livelifehappy.com. Don't stay in an unhealthy relationship because you think it'll get better eventually. Know your worth and move on. All right. So everybody is valuable. Everybody is worth more than they probably even know, because as a life coach, some people don't think that they're worth it. Some people think their destiny is to stay in an unhealthy relationship. Whether you're the one making it unhealthy or the other person is making it unhealthy or toxic, somebody has to say, we can no longer go on like this, right? Somebody has to be able to say that so both parties can live a healthy relationship or healthy life. And then, maybe later find a healthy relationship. But it starts with you. You got to do the work first on yourself in order to be healthy and whole in somebody's relationship. If you're not healed or you're not working on your healing, then you don't need to be in any type of relationship until you do the self-work. And I remember Gladys Knight's song, "Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye." And sometimes in relationships, people are like that, even though they know it's a train wreck, even though they know it's toxic, it's unhealthy for both parties, or they still want to stay in a relationship because of time, because of effort, because of money, because of family, whatever, because of children, because of whatever, businesses, people have a lot going on or just afraid to be alone. Let's talk about that. Some people are really afraid to be alone. So when people are afraid to be alone, they're going to take everything. And, nobody deserves that. And this is not a man thing or a woman thing. Nobody deserves to be in a miserable, unhappy, unhealthy, unfulfilled relationship. Period. With a T. So the thing that I've noticed is most people don't even realize or recognize they're in an unhealthy relationship. If they've gone from one unhealthy relationship to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, or they were raised in unhealthy environments, they think that these relationships are healthy or the norm. If you eat cheese and crackers every single day and that's what you eat, you grew up on cheese and crackers, you got cheese and crackers all the time, and your palate has become accustomed to cheese and crackers, when you go over somebody else's house and they don't have cheese and crackers, you looking like, y'all don't have cheese and crackers? Or people be like, I never had cheese and crackers. You never had cheese and crackers? Or I don't even like cheese and crackers. What? You don't like cheese and crackers? They're so conditioned in their mind, they're thinking everybody likes cheese and crackers. And that's how it is in relationships when they're unhealthy. Some people think that other relationships are unhealthy. And now with social media, they got people all the way messed up thinking that every relationship is social media ready. The travels, the laughs, the happies, the dinners, the going outs, the gifts, the surprises. And now it has become like, oh, that's what it is. And most of the time it's not. That's why you see people in these marriages and they've been married for years and you see them posting their Easter pictures or their Christmas photos or their summer vacations. And you thinking like, dang, next thing you know, it comes out that they filed for divorce because there's so many people just trying to save face and they're staying in relationships and it's making them physically sick, emotionally and mentally sick and unhappy, and sometimes they lead to, bad things happening with people. Like people are, really, you see these shows and people love goes wrong and people are getting hurt. It's too much. If you see a toxic relationship, remove yourself from the toxic relationship. And sometimes that can save your life. It can save your life in so many different ways. So, y'all know I love me some Psychology Today. So I was looking at Psychology Today, and we're not going to go over all of these, but it's 51 signs of an unhealthy relationship. And I'm going to go through some of the signs, and then I'm going to go through some of the ways that you can be or recognize a healthy relationship, because I'm going to do both. But I'm going to read some of these, and I've read through some of them, and I'm not sure all of the ones to do. So I'm just going to skip through, and I'm going to try to do 20 of them. We good? Okay. 51 signs of an unhealthy relationship. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Thank you for shining with me, Kendéll Lenice. If you're here for the very first time, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to the show and don't forget to tell your friends and family about Shine. We'll be right back. All right. 51 signs of an unhealthy relationship. Let's see. Let's start with one and then we're going to skip around. You never turn to each other for emotional support. You look to other people first. That's a warning sign. Your partner implies that you are stupid or that they are the smart one in the relationship, and they try to dissuade you from trying something new because you probably won't understand it. That's also gaslighting too. Which one do I want to go to? You can identify ways you negatively influence each other, particularly harmful habits. Like you may not be a drinker or you may not be a smoker, but if your partner is doing it and you're doing it, that's unhealthy. Like if it's something that you didn't want to do, say if you're not a drinker and they're like, well, just try a little drink. Come on. Or you're not a smoker. Well, just go ahead and smoke something. You're like, no, I don't do that. And they're trying to get you to do that. That's already unhealthy because your partner should want you to be a better version of yourself, right? Okay. Another one, you have a sense of relationship security. You've broken up a number of times, but you just keep doing that and you keep returning. That's a sign of an unhealthy relationship. Your partner is dismissive of your emotions, especially fear, such as when you say you're scared because they may drive too fast or they do something and then they just kind of brush it off. You don't feel you're able to get your partner's attention when you're talking about something important. You know how it is when you have to keep repeating yourself multiple times because they're totally tuning you out, or you tell them something and then you go back and they be like, you never said that, or I forgot, or you did say that. It could be gaslighting and straight up just ignoring you. They're not even paying attention to you. Your partner mocks you, such as poking fun at your voice or facial expressions in a mean way. Or if you say something, they're like, look at you. You know, what's wrong with you? That's gaslighting also. And then that's showing that if they're making fun of who you are. You blame your partner for your life not being as satisfied. That could be your life together seems out of control. For example, you both spend much more money than you earn. I'm reading from Psychology Today. You catch your partner lying repeatedly. Your partner is a source of negative surprises, such as large unexpected charges on your joint credit card, or using your credit card or your finances without talking to you. And then you find out later. That's unhealthy, because that's unhealthy financially as well. You argue or just blame each other rather than accepting some blame. That's my pet peeve, y'all. I can't stand when, adults won't apologize or accept responsibility for what they do, and they turn around and blame you or everybody for everything instead of taking responsibility for themselves. That's extremely unhealthy, not even just in a relationship, but period. You can't blame others for everything. Like, it has to be at a point where you grow up and you accept responsibility for yourself as well. That's huge. Like, I know for me, that goes a long way. If somebody accepts total, responsibility and say, hey, I did this, I could have done this better. I apologize. Instead of, if you bring something to the person, they turn around and say, well, because you did this, I don't like that. The pettiness. Like, it has to be a point where a truce has to be, and you have to take responsibility for yourself, and not blame other people for everything. Also on here says there is an absence of affection in your relationship. You rarely kiss, touch, or smile at each other. I've been there. Yeah, that's totally unhealthy. You don't touch each other. You don't kiss. You don't have sex. You don't talk sweet, kind, googly eyed. I've been there. That's definitely unhealthy because what's the point of having a relationship if you can't connect on that level? You know what I mean? And it's not even about sex or anything like that, but it's about just the connection. You know, you can't hold a hand, you can't kiss, you can't, that's a problem. That's unhealthy because relationships you're supposed to be able to touch, smile at each other. That's like bottom line basic. If you can't even smile at each other, that is showing that. Your partner seems, let me see this one. Let me skip around. Your partner sees themselves as having more moral ground than you, and their value as a mate is better. They think you're lucky to have them, but not the reverse. Like they think that you're lucky to have them, but they're not lucky to have you. So it's that whole manipulation and mind game where they think, well, they're lucky to have me, but I ain't lucky to have them. That's unhealthy because you should both be blessed to have one another. Cheating, of course. The other C word, it says crazy. If you call each other crazy during arguments, it's a pretty bad sign. It shows that you're no longer willing to listen to each other's point of view because you've written it off as irrational. And that also is forms of gaslighting as well. Let's see. You're not sure how dependable, supportive, or reliable your partner would be in situations which you really need them. So that's not your go-to person. Like if something happens, you're not sure if they'll even be there for you. That's signs of unhealthy relationship. You don't feel able to confide in your partner. If you were to reveal something that you're sensitive about, you're not sure that they'd react respectfully or helpfully. Also, your partner doesn't seem interested when you experience success. They dim it down. Your partner involves you in unethical activities such as lying, or that's not good. If they're making you lie about certain things, that's not good. Because ultimately, in a relationship, you want to bring out the better versions in each other, right? You want to not influence somebody in a negative way. You want to be a great example to that person, right? You want to help that person be better in all ways, and that person wants to help you be better in all ways. That's how it should be, right? It shouldn't be where, you see some relationships and you can clearly see that it's a competition. Like, I just don't feel that in relationships you should be competing with your mate, whether you're going together, engaged, married. I don't feel like you should. I feel like you should all be on the same playing field. Like, you should root for them. They should root for you. No one should feel like they are in competition with your mate. That sounds like that could be pretty exhausting, where you feel like you got to one up that person. Oh, well, I achieved this. Well, let me achieve that. Well, it should be all inclusive. Like, if you win, I win. If I win, you win. It's totally unhealthy to be in competition and feeling like you can't share or cheer for the other person. Like, that's ridiculous. But that's pretty unhealthy. And we're not doing that. In this season of life, we are not doing that. Give me some healthy love, please. That's the title of this, and that's how it should be in all ways. We're talking about romantic relationships today, but, in all ways, you want healthy relationships with family and friends as well. Also, now I skipped away from psychology today. I didn't want to do all 51 of them. But just another sign that you may be in an unhealthy relationship. If your partner is not communicating, if they're disrespectful, not trusting, dishonest, trying to take control, only spend time together or not spending much time together, pressures you in any kind of way, or unequal economically. That's what this one says. Let's see. Lack of individuality, and I keep seeing the common thread, being dishonest. Some people are just emotionally abusive, inconsiderate behaviors, it says. And you guys know, hopefully that you'll come to know, the more that you find yourself, the more that you fall in love with yourself, the more that you know that God made you, right, for greatness and goodness, the more you'll realize that you deserve happiness. And this is for both women and men. Everyone deserves happiness, right? No one deserves a toxic relationship. No one should. And someone has to stand up and say, enough is enough. And I want more for myself and I want more for you. To me, that is showing love. If someone stays in a relationship that's unhealthy, to me, that is showing the opposite of love. That's not love, no matter how much you say you love one another. If you're toxic to one another, if you're walking around ignoring the person, not talking to the person, you can go a whole day without talking to them. You don't smile at each other. You don't hug. You don't kiss. You don't say kind words. You don't even look in the person's direction. But you saying y'all go together? You saying y'all in a relationship? That's not love. When I look at that, I think that that's fear of being by yourself or feeling that you're afraid to fail a relationship but that's not love. That's codependency. And you want to love. I'm sorry if you hear background noises. That's not love. You know what I mean? So you want a healthy love. So how you going to get a healthy love? What you going to do? Are you going to work on yourself? Are you going to listen to the past episodes to see how you can be better and healed? Are you going to read my book? Like, what are you going to do? Because it's important to feel loved. You got to be able to feel love, but that comes from God, and that comes from healing and knowing and loving yourself. I'm going to take a quick promo break and be right back. This season of Shine with Kendéll Lenice is sponsored by my new book, Excuse Me, Your Unhealed is Showing, Healing Purposely and Aging Fearlessly. It's available on Amazon.com. Go cop that. Get one for you and a friend. Don't forget to leave a review. Now back to the show. All right, I wanted to make sure the noise wasn't noising as much because I'm doing my podcast from a different location. So I apologize in advance, but catch the message and not the noise. All right, let's just get into what healthy relationships are. Healthy relationships define. Healthy relationships involve honesty, trust, respect, open communication between partners. And they take effort and compromise from both people. There is no imbalance of power. Partners respect each other's independence, can make their own decisions without fear of retribution or retaliation, and they share their decisions. Those are some characteristics of healthy love. Other characteristics of healthy love, this is from Talkspace.com, is being supportive, empathetic, encouraging, and authentic. You know you're experiencing healthy love when you can be completely yourself. I've been in relationships, y'all, where I felt like I could not be my whole self, or something was impeding me from being my whole self. Because I'm generally a happy person, a positive person, an upbeat person, a look on the bright side of things person. And I can see, and I can pick relationships and be like, oh, I wasn't even myself. Like, something about those relationships allow you to feel like you can't be yourself. Even if you're a happy person or something, it's something that's looming or something that doesn't allow you. Could be within yourself. It could be within the relationship. But everybody doesn't bring out the best in you or cultivate a space where you can totally be free to be yourself. Because when you're in relationships, you carry other people's burdens and and bruises as well, and baggage. And sometimes if someone is unhappy, then you become unhappy, or something is happening and then you become one, depending on how much time you may spend together. I remember one time somebody said, like, how do you wake up every day happy? And if somebody else got stuff going on and you don't wake up, they don't wake up happy, then that has you looking like, why am I not supposed to wake up happy? Like, God woke me up. I remember somebody told me that years ago, like, how do you, like, you don't need to take a moment to do this. And I was like, no, I wake up happy because I'm thankful. Like, God did not have to wake me up. I remember somebody told me that years ago. And then I can look back, like when you're on your healing journey, you look back at every situation, every relationship, every encounter, and hopefully the maturity and you can help you grow and help you see things, that maybe you haven't seen before. So that's what the growth journey is like. You go back and look and be like, oh, I could have done better there. I can see how I wasn't providing a healthy relationship in this space, or I can see how this person wasn't providing a healthy relationship, because it could be you sometimes, it could be the other people, it could be the connection of the two, whoever it is. You have to look at it and be like, this doesn't serve me, or this doesn't even serve the other person. So if you really say that you love a person, if somebody even wanted to walk away from you, you have to allow them to do it. Or if you want to walk away from them, you have to open up the space where you know in your heart that you got to walk away and you just got to leave the thing. And that's, to me, it's love on both sides, if you really look at it that way. See, that's the definition of true love. Like, you're not bragging, you're not boasting. And I don't want to, mean to quote the Bible, but I do. But people always talk about love is patient, love is kind, and they always think outwardly. What about to you? Ain't love and patient kind for you? Love doesn't brag or boast for you? You can use that for you. Most people use it at weddings. It's all over the place at weddings. And, people recite that scripture when they're talking about love and relationships, but it's also the love for you. So you should love yourself enough to be able to walk away, or love yourself enough if somebody wants to walk away from you to say, okay, then that's in God's interest and that's the best thing, because you want to be healthy, healed, and whole, and you want to experience love first from God, then to yourself, and then to other people. Now, if you don't feel it from God, you don't feel it from yourself, then how are you going to provide it for anybody, right? And it's not. So you have to be able to heal all of that, even if you have an unhealthy relationship with yourself, you know what I mean? So in different circumstances can cause different people to respond or behave in certain ways. And all of that has to be healed as well, because like I said earlier, that's baggage, that's unhealthiness and toxicity that you'll have in relationships. But if you can clearly see somebody, you can't communicate with somebody, they can't communicate with you, you ain't smiling at each other, you ain't touching each other, you ain't laughing together. That's my big sign. Like, if you're not laughing with somebody, because I like to laugh and I like to be funny and humorous and goofy, and you feel like you're losing that, or you can't be that, or it's so much tension and seriousness, there's no laughter, that is a definite sign. But let me go back to talk space. Just because you might be experiencing some feelings of healthy love doesn't negate signs of unhealthy love. They are not mutually exclusive, right? So what are signs of, we know, unhealthy? Respect for oneself, others, and others is a key in characteristics of healthy relationships. In contrast, unhealthy relationships, one partner tries to exert control emotionally, right? So though that is the difference, but signs of healthy relationships, let's talk that. Trust. Trust is an important part of every relationship. Respect. In close relationships, it's important to have mutual respect for one another and treat each other kindly, right? 3, honesty. To be able to be honest. You know, it's important that you can feel like you can be honest with the person. Honesty is another important quality of a healthy relationship. This doesn't mean that you need to share everything with your partner. It's all right for each individual to have their own privacy and space. In fact, it's a healthy boundary to have. However, it says each partner should feel comfortable sharing their feelings, hopes, fears with their partner. Now, you should feel comfortable to be honest, right? To have honest conversations and not feel like you're going to be judged or ridiculed or talked about, because then that's not really healthy. Let's talk 4 on this list. Affection. Healthy relationships are categorized with fondness and affection. The intense early feelings of a relationship tend to decline for some. You know how it is in the beginning, everybody all googly eyed and all that. Well, if you're not that way in the beginning, that might be a sign right there. But then throughout the relationship, you know, it's normal for their feelings to change in affection, but it should still be some type of affection. You might not be on that number 10 that you were when you first, you know, started dating or met the person, but it still should be some type of affection or fondness, right? Number 5 on this list, communication. This is from eugenetherapy.com. Let's see. Kind and clear. I love this. Kind and clear communication is a part of every healthy, long-lasting relationship. Even some of the healthiest relationships involve conflict. But the key is that both parties and partners, I should say, know how to argue and resolve differences of opinion effectively through communication. Let's pause right there, because I don't care how healthy your relationship is, you're not going to agree on everything, and you're going to have a debate, an argument, a disagreement, period, point blank, right? But it's about how you resolve differences of opinion effectively. That's really the thing. All right. So on this, it says these 5 points are basic indicators that you are in a healthy relationship. So let me go. Number 5 was communication. Number 4 was affection. Number 3 is honesty. Number 2 is respect. And number 1 is trust. Because trust often is the linchpin of a relationship, because you got to be able to trust the person. When you don't trust the person, all kind of things, you know, can come to play. Trust is huge. And when somebody breaks your trust, I've been here too. When somebody breaks your trust, it's downhill from there, because you can't believe or be comfortable about anything. Because if you can't trust somebody, then it's difficult to really maintain, because everything that they say or do, you're going to be like questioning it. And if not, after you come out of it, you're going to be like, hey, this person lied to me about this. I wonder what else this person lied about. And then you start thinking like, they told me that. I wonder if that's true. They told me that. I wonder if that's true. They said this. I don't know if that's true. Then that can't be healthy. if you're questioning everything that they say or do, that's definitely not what a healthy relationship looks like. Another form which I love of a healthy relationship is playful love. I love that. Y'all know how I'm beginning relationships, often they're playful. I love that. Women's Health magazine, I think this is from Women's Health, says playful love might be the most wholesome form of love. After all, you really can be yourself when you're feeling it. You often feel like children when this healthy type of love is present. That's so true. And it says you're dropped into your body and out of your head, meaning that you're just going with it and it feels great. Like you're not thinking too much. And that's that healthy type of love, healthy relationships. And what are the 3 C's in my research of healthy love is relationships are based on communication, compromise, and commitment. That's how you can make sure you have a healthy relationship. And of course, y'all got to do the work. Y'all can't just say, okay, we got communication and we got compromise and we're committed, and you're not doing the work to make sure that your communication is on point, to make sure your compromise is on point, and your commitment. Now, if you're not working on yourself and you're not healing yourself, you ain't got no business being in nobody's relationship. I'm just going to say it until you heal and recognize you and how you can be better. Because in all relationships, you can't point the finger outwardly. You have to be able to take ownership of some of your, unhealthy behaviors in a relationship and correct those before you enter. Now, also, I would suggest that if your intendant or whoever you're intended, if they have never gone through therapy, if they have never gone through counseling, if they don't know nothing about prayer and God, I'm not going to tell you not to enter it. But if you've done the work and you're working on yourself and you're trying to be the best version of yourself and that person is not, then how is that going to be a healthy relationship? Because eventually it's going to spill all over you, and that's going to be an unhealthy relationship. So you have to have somebody who wants to do the self-work and who wants to be better. I'm going to end with 10 signs of a healthy relationship, and this is from Walden University. All right, so discover the top indicators of a healthy relationship and a long life. All right. And some of this sounds repetitive, but I want to make sure you can recognize a healthy relationship. So on their list, you respect each other. You don't have to delight in everything a partner does, but you need to respect each other. You and your significant other need to understand that you are each unique people with individual interests and needs. Number 2, you trust one another. Healthy relationships are built on trust. And trust applies to fidelity, finances, parenting, and more. You want them to be faithful and reliable. All right. Number 3 on Walden's list is you communicate well as a couple. Communication is a two-way street. You need to be able to speak your mind. You also need to be able to hear your partner speak their mind. Number 4, you're both committed to the relationship, right? If you believe your significant other is in it for the long haul and your partner believes you are in the same, your relationship is likely a healthy one. Number 5, you're kind to each other. I like this because sometimes in relationships, when they go through trials, people stop being kind, right? In a healthy relationship, both parties are treat each other with kindness, care, and compassion. All couples bicker from time to time, but people in healthy relationships are kind, even if they don't agree with one another. I've experienced relationships where kindness goes out the window, and even in you arguing, people hit below the belt, right? You've even hit below the belt. I know I've hit below the belt before as well. I've been hit below my belt before. And that's when you know because even in disagreements, you still should be kind. Number 6, you enjoy each other's company. It's healthy for couples to have individual interests and spend time apart, but healthy couples do enjoy spending time together, whether they binge watch TV series together, work out together, or enjoy regular dates. Let's just pause on it. I think that that's so important, to spend time with one another and enjoy each other on regular dates, because you'll be surprised how many couples don't spend quality time together. I think that's so important. And then you could start liking the person, right? You can start seeing why you fell in love with them in the first place, or why you're heading in that direction, because you enjoy them. You know what I mean? Some people, you can just enjoy their company. That's a sign. If you do not enjoy their company, that's a sign that's a sign. Pay attention to that. Number 7, support each other's goals. Whether you want to earn a degree, start a business, and it's important to support your mate's dreams. You don't have to have the same vision for the future, as long as you encourage one another to pursue their passions. You make decisions together. Number 8, you make decisions together in healthy relationships and collaboration on decisions. Whether you're deciding something as mundane as what to have for dinner, or something monumentous as where you want to live. You want to come to a mutual agreement decision. Number 9, your friends and family support your relationship. What do you think of your relationship is the most important opinion to consider. But it's the majority of people who love you want the best for you, right? So it's a good idea to take an impartial look at your relationship to determine why other people don't see it as a healthy one. Because some people can look, you could think it's healthy, and some people look right in their window and be like, this is some mess. This ain't no healthy relationship. Y'all need to look at this. Number 10, you feel supported and cared for. The best way, this is my love language, honey. I like to feel supported and cared for. I like to be all soft and pink and mushy on the inside. And then in some relationships, you can't be that way, because you always got to have your guard up. You can't be vulnerable, or you feel like you're not safe, or, it's interesting, because if you ask a lot of women, my brother, Dr. Leroy, and I talked about this before. If you ask women, he always says women want to feel safe and secure. And he was like, is that true? And I said, absolutely, because that's one of mine. My love languages is feeling seen, meaning on the inside, and for who I really am, and not like an exterior, or not like defense mechanism or something, but really the inside. That's my love language. And also feeling supported and cared for. And I don't mean taken care of, but just cared for, feeling safe and secure. That is something. And safe and secure is not just physical. It's emotional as well, feeling safe and secure on the inside, right? So number 10 on this says you feel supported and cared for. The best way to know that your relationship is a healthy relationship is to consider how your relationship makes you feel. Infatuation can feel exciting, and drama can masquerade as passion. But true love feels safe, calm, and empowering. I love that. I agree. And that can still feel exciting and passionate. If your partner regularly shows that they care for you and support you, that's a good sign of a healthy relationship. I like that. And again, it goes both sides. It's not just about the women. It's not just about the men. It's about the connection that you feel. All right. So that concludes the end of this episode of Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Season 9 is all about healing, different parts of healing. So y'all can go out there and be great and greater, right? Because that's what it's about. Give me that healthy love, please. That's what this episode is all about. And if you feel like you ain't in no healthy love, then it's up to you to say, you know what? I want better for myself. I want better for the person that I loved, liked, or used to like. I want better for them too, because everybody deserves to be in a healthy type of relationship, right? Nobody wants to be in a relationship that is unhealthy. And some of you out there, that might be the only thing that you've ever experienced. But you want to join the other side, the sunshine part of relationships that are healthy. It doesn't mean that they're going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have issues or concerns, but it's about how you resolve and how it is better, because that's what it's about. So let's end with this week's life note. Well, this week's wow moment, I should say. This week's wow moment. Takeaways from today's show. It's basically what I just said. Pursuant to have a healthy relationship, right? To pursue that type of relationship the next time you get into a relationship. Don't think that that means it's going to be a perfect relationship. And at the first sign of trouble, you're rolling out and saying, I ain't been in no unhealthy relationship. Pause for a minute. See what kind of energy you're bringing to the relationship. See what kind of energy they're bringing to the relationship. And see how fast that you can talk and resolve and communicate and hear both sides and listen to both sides. And then you'll be able to resolve things quicker if both people are respectful and responsible for themselves and humble enough to say, you know what, my bad, I'm sorry. So that is my takeaway from this episode of Shine with Kendéll Lenice. All right, y'all go out there and be great. Let me know how your relationships are going. I want to see you all win in life and in relationships. Thank y'all for listening. God bless y'all. Peace. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at Kendéll Lenice. And also go on over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Again, thank you so much for your support. God bless y'all. Peace. Thanks for listening. This has been a Kenny Lynn production.
Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's